So Carlsen against Liko. Carlsen with Carlsen accepting a nice blockade seemingly by black on the f5 square, but now getting that knight on d4 is nice, and nice tactical sequence here. So taking on b4 to play bishop d4 to try and get two pieces for the rook, or getting the exchange back at least. And now he's dominating that c file, and here there's a lot of queenside pressure. This seems to be a trademark of Carlsen's games. Even in Blitz, he's playing nicely on both sides of the board. I wish Adams was playing this. He's a very good Blitz player. So he's a bishop up. Difficult for black to hold this position. I wonder what the final position was. So bishop h4 check here. It's mating after king 8. Rook c8 is mating. So that was 88 moves. Carlsen against Aronian. So Slav. Aronian is playing Slav even in Blitz. Carlsen's got the queens off, but c4 is a bit of a problem. Not so much now. So what is white doing? He's giving back a pawn to get some coordination. Nice bishop on c5 here. That big passed b pawn, but opposite coloured bishops might make this tricky. Not so, not yet. Yes, it is tricky, very tricky. So how on earth did Carlsen win this? So the king's infiltrating seemingly very dangerously, but white's still fairly solid, nothing clear cut to win yet. These pawns are coming down. I think maybe, in fact, white resigned here. So Aronian won that. Yep, he did look to be winning. So Carlsen against Judith Polgar. So here another surprise weapon with an early b3 against Sicilian. I think I'm going to start playing b3 with more confidence. So rook e1, draw, agreed. Rook can't take, so if the rooks come off, it's about equal, I guess. Against Bariev, so sort of advanced, giving up f5 again, but playing for c4, sacking a pawn in fact. So I think black's king was in trouble. So a nice bishop sack to rip open the black king, and Bariev either lost on time or resigned here. The bishop c6. So against Dominguez, Perez Dominguez, we have queen's game accepted, and what happened here? Knight d7, things came off. I did say this was a highlight video, sorry about this, but I just want to quickly skim through the games, picking up some ideas for myself as well to play in Blitz, if possible. So 2-1 pawn majority in effect is the double pawns, but can these pawns ever get going? No. So black's fairly solid. This just ends up being a draw. Carlsen against Jakovenko. So Scotch game again. And Carlsen queenside again. Interesting stuff. So he's avoided like the Roy Lopez stuff in this tournament. A wise decision, perhaps, to try and avoid more theoretical lines. And against Sicilian playing the b3 systems. So I think there's something we're already picking up from Carlsen's Blitz repertoire, that it's been specially adapted for surprise. So here, oh there, Carlsen seems to have gone wrong, allowing rook takes b3, very dangerous for his king. So his king's getting it, unfortunately. So queen b4, loads of checks, his king's getting mated, I guess. Yep, mated. Carlsen against Gelfand, so more theoretical this time, switch to showing versatility of Carlsen's repertoire. You can play anything in the opening, it seems. But knight d5, it looks as though black had counterplay there, but knight c7, so white's still okay, but he just lost a piece, but there's pawns for it. So basically here, I don't know, this is tricky for white to, tricky for black perhaps to try and win it a piece up because of all these pawns. So how did this go? Another pawn lost over there. If white can just get rid of the pawns, it will be tricky for black to win this. Oh, right. Interesting. So over here, finally, I think so. Knight h4 and draw was perhaps offered and accepted. So 2 knights against the knight. A bit difficult to win that. Carlsen against Karpov. Karpov actually he did well in this game. So a hint. So he won that a pawn, and the knights came to c4 now. So there's pressure on e4, and there's a big passed a pawn. Well, there was, but the bishop's still good now and winning the e pawn. Okay, so knight takes g3. Interesting stuff. So black seems to be, Karpov seems to be dominating the position a bit, but putting his king in a bit of danger at the same time. Maybe a lot of danger. Maybe he was a bit lucky here, in fact, to have survived that. So crawling over there, and now avoiding getting mated. So queen and pawn ending, with the king probably crawling down to support the c pawn. So here Carlsen must have resigned or lost on time. Carlsen against knightish. So another scotch with a quick queen e2 and Castle's queenside, and taking away from the centre with the c pawn. So nice, interesting structural dynamics in play. So rook. Okay, did the queens come off? Because otherwise, yep, the queens come off, and so that isolated pawn's a bit vulnerable. But b7 drops, f7 drops, and what's going on here? This pawn can be stopped, so Carlsen ends up winning this ending. So another nice ending pressure game. Carlsen against Morozevich. Oh, very, very interesting opening now. So this knight h3 and g4, very interesting. So sacking g4 just to get g4 pressure wasn't taken, but Carlsen still ends up with a very strong position, strong f-file pressure, e6 nice diagonal, and rook f8 probably missed, winning the queen, winning lots of material. Carlsen against Kosteniak, Alexandra Kosteniak, women's current world champion. So she played, I think she had a very good day at the end. Judging from the comments on Facebook, I noticed she had beaten even like Anand on one day, a lot of the superstars. So she has a good position here. And what is going on? Carlsen seemingly trying to keep blockade on c5. Yes. So where was Kosteniak's counterplay? Well, f5 is nicely gripped. Maybe e6 can be made use of. E4, bishop slipped to e4. So now the pressure started building, as long as the black king wasn't getting mated. So pressure on the queen side. So here, what happened here? Either Carlsen, maybe he lost on time or something. He was under pressure here, it seems. I think this queen side is falling apart. There's rook b1 with the idea of rook h1. I don't know. It's difficult for white. Either he resigned or lost on time. I don't know. Carlsen against Grischuk. So switching again to d4, picking up the two bishops. Nice, sort of interesting closed centre position. I like sometimes the closed centre. But, oh yes, potentially getting a knight to f5, but that was stopped. Now there's another nice f5 square picked up. So I think there's long-term pressure on the black king side. So the two bishops. So this is interesting, bishop versus knight ending over here. So Carlsen's using the queen side as well. Okay, queens come off, and we get an endgame grind. So Carlsen is pawn down, but his d pawn is strong. So rook d6, queening the pawn. Bit of a blunder there from black then, or something. Or maybe it was tricky. Could have just taken and no, it was tricky. So so white saved the day able to crawl to the king and pawn. So Aronian. Okay, that was the end of Carlsen's wins. That's probably about 20 minutes. I'll try and split the videos up. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.